everyone, welcome back to Lakeside Chats with Lexia. Today I'm joined by Mary Beth Cross and her husband Doug. They are both co-owners and co-founders of Gather Greenville. So thank you both so much for joining me today.
My pleasure.
What a great spot to meet up with friends, and I'm sure you see a lot of different people coming through these.
Multi-generational.
Yes.
Multi-generational.
I love that. So could you tell me how many different restaurants you have?
We have 13.
13.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you ever need a lunch spot, you'll know where to go.
Good variety of food.
So, beyond just the amazing food, could you share a little bit with us about how the idea for Gather Greenville came to you?
You want to do that? Or do you like to do that? Okay. So it was originally our son's inspiration. We have 3 sons. Our middle son is our business partner in this venture. And so he called me one night, this is 6 or 7 years ago now, and said, Dad, we've been talking about doing some real estate development, but he said, do something a little more unique than traditional real estate development. He said, I think about my family. He said, he has 3 young kids. He said, I think there's no place we can go where either it's not a safe environment, or my kids are disturbing somebody, or the food's terrible, or you can't drink a cold beer. And he said, all of my millennial friends with families are talking about this. We need to come up with something to address this. And I said, okay, tell me more. I said, let me do a little research. And so a couple weeks later we talked, and he had discovered a place called Steelcraft in Long Beach, California. And Steelcraft is a place similar to this. We purpose courtyard, food, restaurants, stage, a lot of entertainment. And he told me about that, and I said, you need to go see it. So we went out and spent a couple days, and came back, and his eyes were about this big. He said, Dad, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. You've got to do that in Greenville, South Carolina. So that was the inspiration.
Oh my gosh, I love it. And for those of you who haven't come together yet, I don't know how you haven't come because we're missing so much, but you guys use shipping containers, right? And so how did that come into play?
Originally, we just thought it would be a cool aesthetic, a cool part of the vibe of the place.
Sustainability.
And that's what they had done with Steelcraft down in California. So that all kind of fit together. And in the west end of Greenville sort of has an industrial background, so it sort of fit with that as well. Yeah.
What I would like to add too, in addition to that, was the sustainability. But we always wanted to do something that would make us part of the community. The community where I grew up, we did not, but this has changed so much. But Greenville has always had that sense of community, that coming together, and we've seen it in many different ways. So I think the sustainability and the sense of community. I also think it's really cool the property we're owning was given to a foundation to better this end of Greenville. It was given to a woman whose house was across the street. We couldn't buy the land, but we have a long-term lease. And her sole purpose when she turned it over to the city was, please use it to better this end of downtown. So the Children's Theater is a part of it, we're a part of it. And we love being a part of something like that, a legacy. She didn't have any family to leave this wealth of land and I guess money to. So she gave it to the city to better herself. And I love that. That's right in keeping with what we're doing today.
Oh, I didn't even know that. That's so special. Like, it just elevates the mission and the story of everything. So you brought up community, and I feel like community within the Greenville area is definitely a buzzword. So how would you all define community? And with that being at the forefront of your vision, how would you say that you define community?
Well, I think Gather is first and foremost a community gathering place. So what you'll see if you look around, you'll have business people getting together for a meeting, you'll see families and friends getting together, you'll see kids running around. To me, this is the definition of community, the diversity of what you see.
It is, and it gives people a reason to put their phones and technology down and share a meal and a conversation. They, as you can see, they find something to do. We don't have a lot of high-tech toys or televisions or anything. They find a way to come together and celebrate being outside, being together. It's fun.
mentioned our son Mac, his vision was stop watching television, get off your social media, and talk to each other. So that was all part of the vision.
I love the intentionality
Yeah.
behind every single choice. I feel like that is definitely that's amazing. What strategies do you guys feel that you continue to use to ensure that gathers a place for people of all walks of life? I know that we were having a small conversation about it earlier, but how have you kind of continued that mission and including everybody in that?
One thing is we learned that we need a big widescreen television. You know, we didn't think we needed that, but there are a lot of Clemson and South Carolina and Furman and Wofford. Y'all have heard of Wofford? But, you know, there are a lot of people who want to watch the big game, whatever it is.
But our son and business partner went along with that kicking and screaming because of the original vision,
Yes.
which was talk to each other.
Yes.
But you can still, if you're a Clemson fan and the game's on, you can still talk to each other.
Yes.
And what we've realized, it's not the main reason people come here. It's one of the reasons, and it gives them maybe dad or you know an alumni from one of these schools a reason to watch something. But we find that they come here for different reasons. They come here to be together, have really good food. The other thing I wanted to say about this sense of community is all of this is local kind of craft food. We don't have Taco Bells and big chains. We just don't. We want to give people, a lot of them have food trucks and want to expand and test the waters with their concept. This is kind of the incubator for them. And we have, you know, have lots of love. A couple of our teams have done really well and have expanded and franchised, but they started out being a food truck and they would come to downtown Greenville. And so I think giving people an opportunity to test their craft is another thing that we're very proud of, and it's part of what makes Greenville really good.
We also have private event space here, so we're very intentional about offering that for families with birthday celebrations, anniversaries, corporate events, all kinds of different meetings, different purposes. So that's part of the community as well.
And also, with that in mind, to a lot of nonprofit groups, we offer our space free of charge for nonprofits.
Wow.
Because to us, that's what makes Greenville really good. And we want to support and give back to the nonprofits. There's several nonprofits that have events here. We host them, and it's just one of the things we really love doing.
I love it. Just continuing like the Greenville name, and I feel like what is so true to this community. I love that you guys have such a pulse on what we're looking for. I think that's
It's wonderful to be part of all of that. It's truly a special community for sure.
And everybody comes together. You know, we've got Greenville Drive in our backyard, the Children's Theater across the street. Everybody wants the same thing, which makes it really special. And one of my favorite stories is about a little boy, a 4-year-old, who was leaving one day, holding his mother's hand, and he was moving. And I said, "Oh my goodness gracious, did you not have a good time?" He said, "I want to live here, and my mommy won't let me." So I just want to, I told him it's overrated to live here. But, you know, I've tried it and I don't recommend it. But I thought that was really a testament to what we're doing here. And he didn't want to leave. And, you know, he would have lived here if his mommy had only let him. So I thought that was a cute
that's so
testament.
sweet. And I love that even at 4 years old, you appreciate the sense of community.
Exactly.
Like, how important is that?
Exactly.
How would you guys say that collaboration plays into the gather between the restaurants and also people who come here? Maybe they're with their families, maybe they're meeting someone new here. How would you say the collaboration?
You know, I just think we've been warmly welcomed. And we see a lot of people who love our hotels. Many of the hotels have their own restaurants, but they've heard about us from the people of the hotel. And we think that's a real testament. You know, people are proud of it. We came in number 5 in a contest held by USA Today, national magazine. Number 5 best food establishment in the country.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
That's
We
amazing.
don't do that with little old Greenville, South Carolina. We do that because people from all over the country come and like their experience. But I give the credit to the hotels and the apartments and the people who say, while you're here, go check out Gather Greenville. They could eat in a restaurant in the first floor of wherever they're staying, but go try this place. So a lot of people we do them, and I think that furthers that sense of community. They go home. A lot of people want to move here. You know, a lot of people, Greenville is so cool. We want to move here. But part of it is just the ambiance and the welcome they get being anywhere in downtown.
I'll give you another example of collaboration. We had what we called snow events during the winter.
Oh my gosh.
So we had artificial snow machines, and so literally it felt like it was snowing out there on the turf.
I'm like, how did I miss that?
And
How did
6
I not?
o'clock.
And our vendors all jumped on board. So some of them were offering s'mores, some were offering hot chocolate, others hot mulled wine. So various things were offered by them as part of the event.
I love that. Amazing. Now I gotta like keep it in cover.
Well, there you go.
Now I gotta be there.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I know that you guys faced a couple challenges coming into this. What were some of the challenges that you faced and that you would say that college students could learn from?
Great
So
question.
we could write a book on how not to do one of these, right? We made every mistake in the book. Beginning with the construction process was about a year longer than it should have been. And honestly, we picked the wrong contractor and had to part ways in the middle of the process. There was a permitting process as part of doing this. We started with a modular building approach to that, which was a state permit. And then because of the issues with our contractor, we had to go into a city permit and start from scratch about halfway through the process. So it all took significantly longer than we ever thought.
Yeah.
It looks so easy. People look at shipping containers and go, wow, that must really be easy. We want to do one of these. And we go, it's not as easy as it looks. But I think the other thing that had been really done before in our state, and so the permitting took longer because people needed to come and research what is this and how are they using this. And it was kind of our first time. We do it again in a year a minute, but we do it differently.
Yes.
The other thing was totally out of our control, and that was COVID. We opened February 18th, 20, and closed March of 18th, 20. So when you open a new business, it's not good to be closed.
All gather. And then we told everybody to scatter.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
So we came up with the tagline, Scatter Greenville, because we couldn't gather. But you know, our tenants that hung in there with us did quite well. They did a lot of takeout. And they'd run it out to your car. You'd pull up and you wouldn't have to get out of the car. They'd run it out to your car. And they adapted to the new, what we call the new normal that none of us saw coming. But then, as we look back, it's almost like we developed it for a global pandemic.
Yeah, so for that first 6 months, it was like, what in the heck have we done? How are we going to survive this? But Mary Beth's point is a good one. Pretty soon we realized this could have been designed for a pandemic. We weren't that smart. We didn't know a pandemic was coming.
But maybe you did.
But
But
as it turned out, it could have been designed.
Yeah.
People wanted and needed to be out there.
Guess who came back first? The college kids who had all been sent home from college. They came out, they just needed and wanted a place to socialize and to gather. Young families came second. Parents whose kids had been sent home from daycares and preschools because they were all closed and they had been in the house a little bit too long with each other. They came back second. And so we quickly realized that, hey, we are providing a venue for people to be able to gather safely. We had mask, we had a mask policy and different things that we were kind of required to have, but it gave people a safe place to come, be together without being inside somewhere, without going back to college, daycare, wherever. So.
Oh, that's amazing. I feel like all these little pieces that, even if you didn't know that they were intentional at the time, they did end up being.
Well, thank you. And that's why we're excited about our 5th anniversary celebration just coming up in a couple of weeks. We weren't sure we'd be here in 5 years when we opened and we quickly closed. So, it's thriving and we're very lucky. So I think a takeaway for college kids is college will tell you everything we've learned. Don't do one of these before you talk to us.
I'll write that book one day.
Yeah.
I love it.
How
I
not
love
to do
it.
one of these.
So through all of the challenges and everything you guys have been through, I know there's probably more than just COVID that have kind of been different setbacks and things. How do you stay inspired through all of it to continue going?
I think it's the people. You look at the people enjoying themselves and chatting with each other, kids running around, business people having their meetings. So to see that sense of community, as we talked earlier, on a Saturday in the season, as we weather-wise, this place is slammed. So you feel the energy of all of those people communing together.
Like I say, it's such a great combination. It's not just Greenvillians. We rarely know somebody we know. It's mainly, a lot of times, people from in town here for dance competitions, soccer tournaments, traveling through, looking for places to retire. It's just quite interesting how it brings a group that we never would have known if we hadn't been here. He takes care of operations, and I take care of front of house, PR, and marketing. I have
fun things.
I
think
have a
are the fun
funner
You
job.
probably couldn't have figured that out.
Yeah.
I love it. So, but you guys created this probably after your initial careers had ended or were coming to an end. What would you guys
Yes,
say
we're old.
to?
You're right.
She's looking at it right.
But what would you guys say to someone who is just now embarking on their new career? How would you kind of guide them through that, and how would you guide kind of like their possible shifts or
Yeah, bro.
Well, what I would say is one of us stay with a career tour. And what I love about your generation is that they're more risk takers in careers. They're willing to make changes. We look at each other now and we're like, we do something different soon. He was, in an industry that he worked it was open 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. He traveled all the time. I was a fundraiser. I had a fun job. I love my job. But, when we look back on it, we probably should have, could have, would have made a jump to something like this sooner than when we did. However, it's been great at this point in our career. We both retired, and we stayed retired a very short period of time. So,
I love it.
On the other side of that, I think your generation sometimes lacks the loyalty, right? And it doesn't seem to be loyalty to employers. But to me, there's a balance. Figure out what it is you want to do. You can align that. And that's possible. And then commit to it and be loyal to either to yourself as a self-employer or to your employer.
and I would say too, from a salary or a longevity, he was always worried about the salary. You're making sure to provide for our three children.
Somebody had to take care of it.
Somebody did. And
Pay the bills.
And so, but what I say now, it's less about that, more about doing something better.
Yes.
And I think that's the advice we've given our three sons as they've grown up. Do something you love, because you'll be working a long time. Don't do something just because you think it'll be successful financially.
Yes. Well, with that, thank you so much for coming on the show today. And you've heard it, do something that you love. So I hope that all of you continue that, especially throughout the rest of the week. Thank you again so much for coming
Our
on
pleasure.
Lakeside Chats. It was amazing. And come check out Gathered. This is Lexia for Lakeside Chats with Lexia. I'll see you guys next week.